Um, Apologize for our little bit of tardiness here, but we had some important things to talk about. So we are here, and I am going to return us from closed session. It is 6:06, and I'm going to go down here. Okay, this meeting is, are we on, Michael? We are, okay, thank you. This meeting is recorded for live streaming and archiving on the district YouTube channel. And if you would please join me, I would like to ask Dr. Wright to lead us in the pledge today.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh my gosh, you kids back there did an amazing job. That's so awesome. Good job. So our next item is approval of the agenda, and I need to make an amendment to the agenda that items 13C and 13I will be pulled from the agenda this evening. So with that in mind, can I get an approval of the agenda with the amendment?
I move that we approve the agenda with the stated amendments.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Seda?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs?
Yes.
Trustee Moss?
Yes.
And Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
Thank you.
All righty, thank you. And I am now going to turn this over to Dr. Wright, who is going to take the lead on our next item, of our highlight item.
Okay, at this time, I would like to introduce Miss Roxanne Egan, who's our Director of Measure S Facility Bond.
Thank you, Dr. Wright. Welcome back, everyone.
Hi.
Pleased to be here and hope you had a great summer. I thought that I would share some updates on our bond project work. I was going to first just remind everyone of the stuff that's in construction. Secondly, I wanted to share out some thank yous to all of the support from the teams that help us. And then lastly, share some photos of where we're at. So the projects that we've had in construction, the first one is the Robert Semple Elementary School relocation of 3 renovated buildings from the middle school. Those are in place. They're occupied. We're substantially complete. So just punch list items remaining. The second one is the Robert Semple Elementary School NPR HVAC upgrades. Construction is substantially in progress. We have an estimated completion date of late October, hopefully sooner. So that will be great. The third item is the Matthew Turner Elementary School roofing replacement. That covered the full Matthew Turner campus except P10 and P11, and then it also covered Joe Henderson Elementary School, Building D. That work is substantially complete. Everything's done just with the exception of punch list items, so super pleased with that. The next one is the Joe Henderson Elementary School E-wing bathroom replacements. We came into some unforeseen site conditions of groundwater. So yeah, our construction on that is delayed. But it's all good. I've worked closely with David, the new principal there, and we have the construction area. It's nice that it can be compartmentalized off from the rest of campus. Our anticipated construction completion date is late September, early October. So in the meantime, the students will just use the restroom in the admin building. And then the last one is the Mary Farmer Elementary School modernization from phase 1. And our anticipated full completion for that project is November to December. But we are really happy just to be in, and you'll continue to see improvements regularly up there. I wanted to go to the next screen, which is thank you. I have a lot of people who give me support in being able to get the work done for the district that we do. The first one is just a thank you to our community. Thanks for passing Measure S. Like, it's so awesome to be a part of this work and to get to see the improvements to our facilities. The next item is a thank you to our staff and site users. I know that construction always is difficult and it's real, but they endure it, and it's all with the end goal of better improvements at the end. So that's a huge shout out. Next up, maintenance and IT. They provide a lot of support on our projects. They do things like painting, installing our clocks and bells in our classrooms, all of our IT support. So I want to acknowledge that and say thank you to it. the business office. Tim and I work very closely together. His staff as well gives me a large amount of support, processing all of our POs, payments, audits, all of those things. So I want to say thank you. The next item on here is Bobo Construction. So they are a relatively new contractor to BUSD. We first contracted with them for Mary Farmer Elementary School Modernization Phase 1. They've been so great. They now actually are the primary contractor for all those projects I just listed. They have worked so hard all summer, well, all year long and continue, and just really grateful for their help. I can't say enough good things. Below that, I list just a couple of their subs who also are some contractors who we have worked with direct on other projects, so wanted to give them credit. And then lastly, the architectural firms that work to give us support. A lot of work goes into the drawings before we get into construction. So there's SVA Architects who have provided support at Mary Farmer, and HY Architects who has provided the support across all of our other sites. Yes. These are just some photos of the work on the sites. So this first one is Robert Semple Elementary School. And these are the 3 new classrooms. Maintenance painted them. We had ended up building a retaining wall back behind them so we could pull them off of the playground as much as possible. And I was out there the other day. It was just really sweet. The teachers were there and they shared their appreciation and feel pretty good about it. There's a few things that we have to finish up, but mostly we're really there with them. So this next one is showing Matthew Turner, our new roofs. This was in July. So you can see our roofers working on the admin building, but they're all done now. So pleased to have that work. I think that that'll be a huge help to everybody. This photo is of Mary Farmer, and you can see how many people are on site working. This is just a average support that we've had up there. It was really all hands on. The next one is, this is at the start of school. So we have our new paving in front. We've got sidewalks. We have some sidewalks into the school. There's a lot of sidewalk work that is yet to be finished, and it will keep going in, but at least we have enough, and we have our new exit onto Drolette. This shows the front parking lot again. And then this is another shot that overlooks the stadium, and it's kind of fun because it shares out the view that we have from up there and all of those things. And then this last one is just a reminder. These are the things that are included in the current contract that we'll be finishing up. The playground area is not, but the trees and all of the sidewalks and landscaping will be undergrounding the overhead power along the driveway up. Their new marquee, the base of it is in. I would anticipate within 2 to 3 weeks that'll be up and working. So that's yeah, that's what I have tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice.
You're
Miss
welcome.
Egan? Yes.
Thank you.
Miss Egan, wait, before you go, I do have one question. Are they doing anything else at Benicia Middle School?
Not
Is
right
anything
now.
planned?
I mean, well, we have some future projects that are on our master planning list, and we
Okay.
have some. So we're pretty much spent out on Prop 50, our Measure S.
Sure.
We have our priorities list for the Prop 51. Speaking from memory, I think we have some money in there for some work, but it's not like our highest priority in what's listed.
Because you just mentioned the marquee at the other school. And so I was thinking, every time I drive by the marquee at Benicia Middle School, the paint, it looks like it's crackled, like from a distance, like when you're driving, it doesn't look smooth.
The marquee?
Yeah, that really beautiful thing in the front.
Yeah.
It looks, and maybe it had been wet, but I don't know. I just didn't know if there was anything.
Okay, I'll check it out. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
Would that be out of Measure S, or would that be just something the grounds
Oh, it's very possible it was
take care
brand
of by
new.
painting?
Yeah, it's been completed a couple years, but so I can check and see if we're still under warranty, and if not, I'll
Okay.
work with Alfredo. But yeah,
Well,
definitely.
thank you, and
for
thank
letting me
you
know.
for everything. You've done a
Yes.
remarkable job.
Thank you.
Right, good evening. The opening to the school year has been outstanding. We kicked it off with a leadership retreat, followed by a professional learning workshop for the entire staff. And I can't say enough about our staff. They reported with a lot of positive energy, and it carried over to the school sites. As we visited schools the first day, the energy was high, it was positive. Going in and out of classrooms, it just reminds me of why we do the work that we do. I remember being at Robert Simple, one student, we asked, hey, how do you like school? And they're like, I love school. I wish school was from the morning all the way through the night, right? And when you hear that, it just it fills your cup, and it just reminds you of why we do the work that we do, and it helps us get through those difficult times. So thank you to staff, thank you parents, students for reporting to school with a lot of positive energy, and we're gonna foster that and maintain it throughout the year. I do want to take this opportunity to remind parents the importance of attendance. Students, we believe the most effective strategy for our students to learn is to report to school. So with our highly qualified teachers and when they're with their peers. So just want to send a reminder that attendance is extremely important. Please make sure that your child attends school on a daily basis. Community engagement events, we're going to continue those this year. I'm going to start with Coffee with the Superintendent events. I will send a schedule out later this month, and I'll also post them on our new BUSD website. I do want to talk about human growth, development, and sexual health just for a quick moment. It's a difficult topic. There's no question about it. And we all have varying beliefs on how to best educate our students. Sometimes they don't align. They conflict with one another. And as a district, we're guided by CDE, California Department of Education, to make sure that we remain in compliance with the law. And recently, we received some social media attention regarding our curriculum adoption process and the topics covered in our courses. But there's been some inaccuracies with the information that's been shared online. So tonight, I just want to quickly clarify some misunderstandings and also point you to the direction in which you can find some additional information should you want to see it. The Benicia Unified School District has adopted the curriculum Puberty Talk to teach human growth, development, and sexual health for 5th grade. The curriculum has core lessons and extra activities. Our district is teaching the core lessons, and we're not utilizing the extra activities. As a district, we are not teaching medical interventions such as the use of puberty blockers or hormone replacement therapy. In Lesson 4, the Common Puberty Changes worksheet, self-gratification is also removed. We're not teaching about HIV, as this topic will be addressed in 7th grade. I just want to clarify that, why I had the opportunity to do so. If you want additional information regarding our courses, please visit our website. If you go to the BeniciaUnified.org, find the Departments tab, locate Educational Services, click the Curriculum and Instruction tab, and then we just added a tab today called Human Growth, Development, and Sexual Health. There's a wealth of information there, and if you have additional questions, there's contact information in which you can reach out to our district staff. Please make sure that you get accurate information when you're sharing it publicly. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Wright. Okay, next is board reports. Anybody have anything to share? Shall we start? There we go.
I'll be very brief. So one of my committees that I work with, or that I sit on through the board, is the Community Advisory Council with Valero. And so we were able to take a tour on August 8th. We took a tour at the wastewater treatment plant, the marine thermal, crude field, the wastewater, I said that wastewater treatment plant, and then also the fence line monitoring system, the wet grass scrubber, and the control house. So it was very interesting and very informative. I also had the opportunity to attend Solano Community College, where Dr. Shirley Weber, our California Secretary of State, was there. And the students at Solano College worked with the Solano County League of Women Voters to have her come and speak. So it was very interesting. Her office also is very dedicated to making sure that we are able to kind of like help our young students pre-register to vote vote. So like 16, they can go and, they can get pre-registered basically. But it's very informative kind of program that they have to kind of make sure that our kids are, aware of our systems and stuff. So that's it.
All right, well, thank you. I attended the professional development day in the morning with Sherry, and I thought it was a terrific opening to our new school year. After the opening remarks by the district, I had the pleasure of going to the middle school where I have an 8th grader, and I got to sit in on the first session of their professional development day, and it was about the changing adolescent brain after COVID. So I was personally interested in it.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was terrific. It was great to see the teachers. It was great to feel the energy. New administration there, and I'm really excited for the year. There's a very positive vibe.
Cool.
Thank you. Anything? Okay, and like Amy shared, yes, we were at the welcome back to all our employees, and the energy was palpable, right? It was so engaged, and Dr. Wright's speech was amazing and just so uplifting, and I hope everybody was able to, if you haven't heard it, see if there's a way we can hear it, if Ms. Martinez videotaped it or anything. The rest of the board might like to hear it, and whoever else, but it was phenomenal. And I also attended the welcoming of our new employees to Benicia Unified, and they were so excited to be here, and the whole that whole week and a half or whatever, it was amazing. So I just thank you guys for putting together such amazing programs for the teachers and staff that were coming back. I really appreciate it, and I know there's a lot of effort, Ms. Rice, and so on. And I know a lot went into it. So thank you so much, and that's all I have to report out on. I guess I'm still on. Okay, the next is our comments from members of the public. All functions of the board meeting, including public comments, will take place in person. Members of the public may address the board at a regular meeting on any item within the board's jurisdiction. Speaker cards are available on the entrance table. Please take note the item you wish to speak to and submit a card to the board secretary. The board president will call all the open session general comments during the public comment item. Comments for items on the agenda will be called during the specific item. Comments are limited to no more than 3 minutes per speaker, or the board may limit the total time to 20 minutes per item with the timer displayed on the monitors. By law, no action may be taken on any item raised during the public comment periods, and matters may be referred to staff for placement on a future agenda of the governing board. Please be reminded to keep your comments respectful, as students may be watching, or children may be watching. So do we have public comment? We do not. So we're going to go ahead and move on to item number 11, which is approval of our consent calendar. So the background information on these items is provided to the board prior to the meeting. A common motion takes place without discussion on a roll call vote unless discussion of items is requested by board members. So at this time, I'd like to see if we can get a motion to approve the consent calendar as written.
I'll move to accept the consent calendar as written.
Thank you. And may I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Ms. Martinez? Yes.
President Seda?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Yes. Trustee Moss? Yes. Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch? Yes. Thank you.
Okay, there is one item on that consent calendar that needs an additional roll call. It's 11D, resolution number 23-24-01. And so, excuse me, we need to do a roll call separately, and just a reminder, we all need to sign this at the end of the evening. So can we get a motion, please?
We don't need the motion.
Oh, just a roll call,
It's the same
please.
motion, so just President Seda?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs?
Yes.
Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
Trustee Moss? Sorry, Trustee Hirsch.
All right, you threw me
Yes.
off.
Sorry, went out of order.
It's our first day back. All right, so that is done now, and the next item is, I'm going to introduce Dr. Wright again, and he's going to be introducing some staff for admin.
He passed the ball.
Oh, there you go. Thank you.
That's quite all right. Good evening, welcome back. It's good to see all of you. I'm really excited to have some colleagues here to do a joint presentation on the wonderful summer programs that we had going on in the district this year. So I'd like to invite Dr. June Regis, Director of Adult Ed, Child Development, and ELOP, and Mr. Steve Phillips, Director of Special Ed, to the podium. And they're going to tell us about their amazing summer programs that happened this summer.
Well, thank you so very much. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had a wonderful, thank you for the clicker, summer. Oh, that's much better, isn't it? We did have a really successful experience with our summer programs. Oh, I do this lean thing. Let me stand up straight. Here we go. Specifically, both our ESY program and also the adult-sponsored ELOP, CDU, and pre-K programs. Yeah. Oh, there we go. All right. That was kind of fancy, wasn't it? All right. Just a quick reminder, for extended school year, it's really important that we remember that the students we invite to participate have this service on their IEPs, and it's specific to ensure that students don't experience regression over the summer. So we want to make sure that those students remain at least on par with the success that they've been having in school, and that they don't come back at a deficit. Okay. All right. So ESY is not intended for all of our students who have special education services. It's not intended to be an experience outside what they typically would get through the school year. It's really intended specifically, again, for regression. Okay. All right. So our program was held beginning on June 6th and ran through July 4th, although students didn't attend specifically on the 4th of July. We weren't looking to hold them to that. In addition, I apologize. Our students had the opportunity to work collaboratively in groups and also independently. And we also had Brick Space once again take part in it. And it was just wonderful to see eyes light up when they had the opportunity to do those hands-on experiences and activities. Oh, and I also want to call out, too, that we had a principal for ESY, Jasmine Hernandez. She did a really fantastic job in supporting the program. She's a current administrator in the Vacaville Unified School District. Mm-hmm. You betcha. And this does the heart warm. So the intent, again, is to avoid regression with our students, right? What this data shows is not only did we not have regression, but we had students who really succeeded through the program in terms of progress on their goals. So the IEP goals were measured with both a pre-test and a post-test. And what you see when you're looking up there, those percentages indicate the percentage of goals met for each of those grade levels. So when we're looking at the elementary school and we're looking at math, we're looking at a 90% rate of students who actually made progress on those goals rather than simply maintaining them. So we avoided regression and we saw strong progress. And really we saw consistent progress across each of those areas. We looked at math, we looked at ELA, and we also looked at behavior. So these are very key indicators of success. All right. And the numbers were pretty good for ESY too. We actually increased by 17 students from the number of students that we had in the prior year. So we had 15 students in pre-K, 26 in grades K through 5, and another 19 in our 6th through 12th, our secondary school students. Looking pretty good in terms of our enrollment. Right. Head it over to you, Matt.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for having us this afternoon, our superintendent and our board. So thank you. For ELOP, CDU, Adult Ed, the summer is all about having fun to kind of relieve some of that built up energy. So this year we had 313 students between our TK and our to K5, and we had some adult ed students that continue their work. Can you click for me, please? Sure, because you mastered the clicker better than I did. Yeah. Those were some of the Steve's ESY activities, so that's still Steve's slide. More ESY activity.
Covers all the age groups and all of our programs.
And this begins our program. We have ELOP, that's new funding that was given to us by the state of California, and it is actually for to ensure that students, if they regress during our COVID time, this is an opportunity for them to build back their skills. It's a 9-hour program, so they go to school for 6 and 3 hours they're with us. It's during the school year, and then there's an extra 30 days that we have to offer. And so for the month of June made up the additional 30 days. So we had our ELOP students until June 30th. We also have a full course program popularly called CDU Summer Camp, and that stayed until August the 4th. So we took our ELOP students on a field trip in June. They went to the Sacramento Zoo, and we had a good time. And in July, the CDU students continued going on field trips. So we went to multiple field trips. We went to a baseball game in Sacramento. Other than the zoo, we went ice skating. We went to the movie theaters. We went to Sacramento to yeah, you're going too fast. We went to Sacramento. So you see some of our kiddos, some skate really well and some were learning. We went to Berkeley in the hills to a museum there. So we did multiple things, and every Friday they went swimming. We also partnered with our community partners, and they were there helping with enrichment activities. This is our adult ed graduation, which for the past couple of years we've been growing, and these are pictures. There is Sherry Zeta, our president. She was here throughout all our graduations. So every preschool graduation, she was here, and she was here for adult ed. And so that's some of our adult ed activities that was during the summer. And it's Leslie Stone. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. There were 2 additional programs that we had also this summer for high school students. And so we've always had high school credit recovery, and we've always had a PE conditioning class. This year, can you put that? Oh, you want it back? Yes, please. Sorry about that. Right on that slide is perfect. This year, we expanded the PE conditioning to include credit recovery. And in the past, it was primarily focused on our football players. And this year, it really expanded, and all athletes were invited to attend. And so that program will continue to grow. Miss Kristen Grubbs led the program. She did 3 sessions a day. It was for the month of June. So the kids either came from 8:30 it was 90-minute sessions. So 3 90-minute sessions. They did conditioning, they did weightlifting, they did field time, they set goals, and worked to meet those goals. And she's gotten really great reviews. And so we expect that program to continue to expand.
I have one question on that, actually.
Sure.
When you say it's open to athletes, for students coming in from 8th grade to 9th grade,
It was anyone who had signed up to be an athlete. So yes, the incoming 9th grade through high school.
okay, great.
And then the other piece of our summer program at the high school level is online, and it is Ingenuity. It's credit recovery for students that have received a D or an F. And so that was another expansion that we did this year, was we really want to remove barriers so that students are eligible for CSU or UCs. And so to get those into those colleges, you need to at least pass with a C. So we expanded summer credit recovery to include students who received Ds if they wanted to take it. We had 2 teachers this year, first time ever. So Megumi Sakamoto, who is a special education teacher in our district, and then Coach T, who has done it for us historically. They had over 200 students enrolled in the program. Those over 200 students took over 380 courses. Not all finished. We're still crunching some numbers on that. But Megumi, because she specializes also in special education, she was able to do some in-person and one-on-one work with the students who were struggling and got many students through and continued through extended time to work with them through August. And so really good results, and we are excited about that program and thankful to our staff for creating those opportunities for our students.
Thank you, everybody. You and you and everybody. Okay, so I'm gonna go back here a second and introduce Dr. Wright for some introductions of some new employees that we have.
I apologize. This should have been an item 11C. President Zeta passed me the ball and I missed a shot. So she was looking at me and I gave it to Dr. Beatson. So, okay. So I want to introduce a couple of new administrators to the Benicia Unified School District. We're very excited to have them both. I'll read their bios and then give them an opportunity to address the board. So first up is Tashari Amaral. It is with great pleasure and enthusiasm that we welcome Ms. Tashari Amaral as Vice Principal of Benicia Middle School. Ms. Amaral served as a multiple subjects general education teacher within the Pittsburgh Unified School District for the past 15 years. In addition to teaching, she served as a site union rep for certificated staff members. Ms. Amaral graduated from Cal State Long Beach with a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Liberal Studies with a concentration in U.S. history and a multiple subjects teaching credential. She earned a Master's of Arts in Education, Administration, and Leadership with Administrative Services Credential Certificate of Eligibility from Concordia University in Irvine. Dr. Fraser Myers, Director of Student Services, said, as an educator, Tashari aspires to establish a school culture and education program conducive to a positive student learning environment with a focus on a growth mindset. Ms. Amaral, in her role as an educator, seeks to promote staff, cultural awareness, and growth that enables scholars, staff, and parents to reach their highest potential. Ms. Amaral, welcome. I feel your positive energy when you walk into the room, and we're excited to have you here.
Thank you. I want to say thank you. It's an honor to work for Benicia Unified. And thank you to the board for your approval, and thank you for Dr. Wright and the cabinet members. Also, thank you to the community of Benicia for having me and welcoming me. I know some of you are watching online, and it is an honor to serve your community, to serve the middle school ages and the middle schoolers. It's been a pleasure these first few days. I've seen the cabinet members on our school site. I know that a special someone's going to be on site tomorrow. And it's just an honor to be here and to lead into change and also growth mindset with the middle age learners. So I look forward to this year and the many more to come. Thank you.
I would now like to introduce Mr. David Foldberry as principal of Joe Henderson Elementary School. Mr. Foldberry is a Benicia resident who has served as principal of Vintage Parkway Elementary School within the Oakley Union Elementary School District for the past 4 years. Before his tenure in Oakley, Mr. Foldberry worked within Beverly Hills Unified School District as an assistant principal at Horace Mann Middle School for 3 years and a Spanish and social studies teacher for 11 years. Mr. Foldberry graduated from Georgetown University with a Bachelor's of Art in Government and a minor in Spanish and Theology. He also earned a Master's of Art in Secondary Education and has a bilingual teaching credential in Social Studies and Spanish from La Loyola Marymount University. Mr. Foldberry earned a Master's of Education in Leadership from UCLA Graduate School of Education. You hit all the major universities, Mr. Foldberry. You don't have Sac State on that. We're going to work on it.
Not yet.
Mr. Foldberry stated, my social justice philosophy grounds my desire to maintain a school culture that includes and embraces linguistic and cultural diversity and promotes and celebrates accessible academic gains, especially for students with IEPs. Mr. Foldberry, welcome to Benicia Unified School District. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Sure.
Where's the baby?
Yes. So Mrs. Zeta explicitly invited our 4.5-month-old Grant, 4.5-month-old son Grant. My wife Danielle is at home with him. A little bit of a fever tonight. So, but you know, he smiles more than anyone I've ever met. So he'll get through it. So. Again, Dr. Wright and Madam President and trustees and members of the cabinet and community, I really thank you for this warm welcome. It's been a wonderful couple of weeks becoming a Henderson Hound. As many of you know, I left a school that I absolutely loved, and I was ready to come to another school that I absolutely loved, and this one is 4 minutes from home. Danielle and I have lived here close to Matthew Turner for about 4 years. We brought Grant into the fold about 4.5 months ago, and I've just felt incredibly welcomed at Joe Henderson. The PTG board has already been working with me for a strong start. Our families are just incredibly gracious, have been very flexible with some of the construction changes that Ms. Egan was sharing. As Ms. Amaral said, we've had such great presence from members of the cabinet and from Dr. Wright and the team, and we've had a really great start to the year. So I'm very, very excited to be here. Thank you for the warm welcome and the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you both and welcome. Okay, we're going to move on to our action items. And first up, I'm going to ask Mr. Rahill if he will go over this with us, the 23-24 final state budget 45-day revision.
Yes, good evening. We have this item for your action tonight. Each year, the school board's provided the 45-day budget revision after the state adopts the final budget for the upcoming year. And so for this 23-24 current year, the budget revisions are for the final allocations for the one-time block grants. And there's two of them. There's the art, music, instructional materials, and discretionary grant. And the other one is called the Learning Recovery Emergency Block Grant. So both of these grants have been reduced. It's by a smaller amount as approved in the final budget, which was compared to a larger proposed adjustment the governor made in May. So we have the art and music discretionary grant. It's reduced from $2,688,000 down to $2,538,000. And the LRE, the Learning Recovery Emergency Grant, is reduced from $2,506 down to $2 million. Wait a minute. Reduced from $2,506,000 down to $2,145,000. And so we are asking you to approve these adjustments. I might, if I can, are we able to bring up the one attachment on the list of one-time grants? Just take an opportunity to show, to remind the board and the community that we're have kind of a rolling plan right now to tap into these one-time grants for some positions and for some supplies and services. So up at the top, we listed one of our federal grants. That's Title I. We also have a lottery grant for some books. So those are separate there. And then there's a variety of one-time grants that have come in. We've listed them there in the middle. And if we can scroll up a little bit, the detail here, which is included in the board packet, it shows a variety of positions. There's about the equivalent of about 25 positions in a variety of roles of just under $1.7 million. And then the last section is a detailed list of the professional development, student services, curriculum, technology, visual art funds that we use of just under $800,000. And so we've accumulated some of these over the years. In prior years, we haven't spent them. So we've had a rolling 3-year plan Unfortunately, based on the current projection, that rolling 3-year plan is coming to an end. We're okay for this year. If we want to continue this for next year in 24-25, we are able to do that. But as time goes on, we're going to have to look at that second outer year in 25-26 to see if we'll still be able to do this, or if for that year we'd have to start making some adjustments. So it's you can never be reminded too much of the great things that we're able to do with one-time funds, but the nature of those do come to an end. And so we'll, if we don't find additional funding or something else happens, these positions and services would have to come to an end. So with that, that's included in the packet. That was really the only material item in the state adopted budget that we're asking for your approval tonight for those final allocated amounts for those 2 one-time grants.
Does anybody have any questions? Okay, can I get a motion, please?
I'd like to move that we approve the adjustments to the one-time block grants from the 2023-24 final state budget for BUSD.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Seda?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Yes. Trustee Moss? Yes. Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Rahal. Appreciate it. Okay, next, I'm going to invite Dr. Gill to discuss several items on our list here, starting with consideration and approval of the substitute pay salary schedule. Thank you.
Good evening, trustees, governing board, superintendent, and community members. So we had approved to increase the sub pay for 1 year during last school year. We're bringing the same exact salary schedule back to you to approve for this current year. It is very important for us to pay our subs well so that our classes are covered when our teachers have to take a day off. So it's the same exact salary schedule.
Are there any questions? May I get a motion, please?
I move that we approve the certificated substitute teaching pay scale.
I'll second.
Thank you. Ms. Martinez, roll call?
President Seda?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Yes. Trustee Moss? Yes. Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, we're skipping down to D, consideration and approval of the intent to employ with provisional internship permit. Dr. Gill?
So I have several of similar kind of items from here on. So this one, we have a teacher, special education teacher, Spencer Harley, at Sample School working on the credentials. So we are requesting for the board to approve the PIP, which is provisional internship permit for them to be able to teach this year.
Thank you. Any questions? No? Okay. May I get a motion, please?
I'll move to approve the intent to employ with a provisional internship permit.
Thank you. Can I get a second? Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Seda?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Yes. Trustee Moss? Yes. Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Next one is the same as the last one. So, Dr. Gill.
Yes, ma'am. Next one is Mr. Miller Jensen. Will be teaching special education classes at Benicia High School, working on their credentials. So we are asking for the governing board to approve provisional internship permit, please.
Thank you. May I get a motion?
I
Or
move-
any questions first? Okay, can I get a motion?
I move that we approve the provisional internship permit for Miller Jensen.
Thank you. May I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Seda?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Yes. Trustee Moss? Yes. Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
Okay, item H, consideration and approval of the intent to employ with a variable term waiver. Dr. Gill? No, did we skip one? 1, 2, 3?
F and G.
We skipped C because we pulled it.
Yeah, so we are going to go to F now. F.
Oh, okay. All right, let's go with it.
Okay, F is Brandon Chavez. Will be teaching special education at Benicia Middle School. Same, we are requesting PIP to be approved for him as well.
Thank you. Can I get a motion?
I move that we approve the provisional internship permit for Brendan Chavez.
Thank you. May I get a second, please?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Seda?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Trustee Moss? Trustee Maselli?
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Item G, consideration and approval of the variable term waiver.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Gill.
Yes, ma'am. So this is an item that came to you in the spring, late spring, but we learned that for this is an administrator position. For administrators, the word is not PIP; it's actually supposed to be variable term waiver. PIP and STIP, those are used for teaching credentials only, not for administration credentials. So we're just bringing back to you just for that word change. Everything else is exactly the same. It's Miss Weaver, who is wonderful teacher, taught for us for many years. Now she's going to be supporting our special education teachers as a program specialist. So this is this revision of language, changing from PIP to variable term waiver.
Okay, thank you. Can I get a motion, please?
I move that we approve the variable term waiver request for Aaron Bieber.
Thank you. May I get a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Seda?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Trustee Moss? Trustee Maselli? And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
All right, we pulled I, so we're going to move on to.
Actually, let me correct. It's H that we pulled. H.
We just, okay.
We pulled
Okay,
G.
then we need to,
So Sarah Walsh is, yes. So it's
so we need to redo that at the beginning, or
H and C.
H?
As opposed to I, which.
H, yeah.
So it's H is pulled and
C is
C.
pulled. That is correct.
Okay, so we would need to amend do we need to make an amendment?
I think that we should, just to be clear for the minutes.
Okay, so let me go back. Okay, so on the approval of the agenda, it appears that there was an error on which items that were in our action items 13. And instead of being 13C and 13I that we're pulling, we are putting back in 13I and removing 13H. So it's pulling 13C and 13H. And can I get a roll call, please?
You want to keep the same motions then that we had for the original?
Yes, this is the same.
So we'll go ahead and do the roll call then. President Seda?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Yes. Trustee Moss? Yes. Trustee Maselli? And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay, so where am I? I'm on I, J.
Aye.
I. Okay, consideration and approval of the intent to employ with a variable term waiver. Dr. Gill.
Thank you, ma'am. This is an elementary counselor we hired. She is in the in her program for the counseling program. So while she's in the program, we need to get this approved, which is called a variable term waiver while she's in the program.
Okay. Are there any questions? May I get a motion, please?
I move that we approve the variable term waiver for Maria Harvey.
Thank you. May I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
President Seda?
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs? Trustee Moss? Trustee Maselli? And Trustee Hirsch?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Now we're on J. So consideration and approval of food service nutrition manager job description for the 23-24 school year. Dr. Gill.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So in the, June of 2022, Governor Newsom passed a bill called AB 181. The intent of this law was to increase schools' capacity to prepare meals served through federal school program, which meaning we had to include more freshly prepared items on site instead of just frozen pizza and frozen stuff. Which also means that we needed to serve nutritious meals and figure out a way to make sure the meals that are being served to the students have well-balanced nutrition content in there. So we are bringing a position forward to you. Instead of a food service manager, we would like to have a nutrition manager. This is a classified CSA position, and the CSA, we have worked with our CSA president. They have approved it. They have approved the job description as well. We are bringing to you for your final approval before posting the position.
Is this a brand new position?
It is a replacement of the food service manager to nutrition manager to meet the
So it's a name change.
name change, and the duties
Little
are
bit of word.
duties are changed as well to meet the needs of the new law.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Yeah, what's the difference? Just looking at K,
We're on J.
I know. But what's the difference between food
Oh.
services nutrition manager and a food and nutrition coordinator?
So coordinator, more of a management in food service position. Food nutrition manager is a CSCA classified position. Other major difference is coordinator oversees the entire, helps the director to oversee the entire program, which means all the inventory, auditing, ordering of food, make sure all the school sites have the food, all those kind of things. As compared to nutrition managers, main focus is focusing on the actual nutrition parts of the job, the food.
So the manager is more about the food that's being served, whereas the coordinator is more
Of the actual operation of the
about and keeping track of.
but also working with the employees as well.
And that's also just pretty much a name change.
It is an actually additional position. It's a
That
new
is a new
position.
position.
Yes. And I just also want to clarify, all of these positions are self-funded through the food service program. No impact on general fund, both of these positions.
Okay.
So one is a replacement. The coordinator is a new position. One of the reasons I have mentioned in here also, since COVID, now we have, because of the universal meal plan, we are serving a lot more students. So the work it has been added to food services a lot more. They do bring a lot more funding as well. So they are able to self-fund themselves, and they have been doing a really great job serving the kids, and the number of meals they're serving is a lot higher as compared to before.
Thank you. Can I get a motion on J, please?
I would like to recommend the approval of the food service nutrition manager job description for the 2023-24 school year.
I'll second that.
All right, roll call, please.
President Zeta.
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs.
Yes.
Trustee Moss.
Yes.
Trustee Maselli.
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is K, consideration and approval of food and nutrition services coordinator job description. And I think Dr. Gill kind of just went over that, so I don't think we need to ask you about that. So I'm gonna go just see if we have a motion on the table for that one.
I move that we approve the food and nutrition services coordinator job description.
Thank you. May I get a second?
I second it.
Which one of you seconded?
I second it.
Okay. Roll call, please.
President Zeta.
Yes.
Trustee Grubbs. Trustee Moss.
Yes.
Trustee Maselli.
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Consideration and approval of the revised declaration of need, CL 500. Dr. Gill.
Thank you, ma'am. So this is, I had brought this item to you on May 25th as well. This is basically saying that we might need to hire employees, specifically teachers or certificated employees who may not have full credentials. As we were going through the hiring process, found out that we actually need more than what we had requested. So bringing you a revised document. Major difference other than some secondary school differences are the special education teachers. Some of them we approved today. So we are bringing a revised list needing more of teachers who are still working on their credentials. So that part has to be approved by the board.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? All right, may I get a motion?
I move that we approve the revised declaration of need.
Okay, may I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Ms. Martinez.
President Zeta. Trustee
Yes.
Grubbs.
Yes.
Trustee Moss. Trustee Maselli.
Yes.
And Trustee Hirsch.
Yes.
So this time I want to thank everybody for being here this evening. It is 7 o'clock, and I want to let you know that our next governing board meeting is Thursday, the 7th of September. Welcome back to school, everybody. Have a great year. Thank you.